Greetings, friends. Eric McCool here of Permagora Live. I am coming back at you. I gotta say, I'd been preparing some material and been working on rebooting Permagora over the last month or so. Made a few videos already and thought, I'll reshoot those, but I've been real busy and man, things have been happening. And it's definitely time to start talking while we still have internet to use and while we have access to shared information. We ought to take advantage of that. I want to talk about first, if y'all aren't familiar with Permagora or my work, I had a website. It's gone now because I didn't continue to pay for it when I was shifting into some other things and going through some stuff in life. Made it a little tough to keep up with Permagora, but Permagora was my platform that I created to advocate the combination of permaculture, design systems, and lifestyles with the freedom and liberty movement that I first discovered through the Anarchapulco conference and many people I met there, and just general interaction with people on the internet who all shared the concern that we have to make a stand against totalitarianism and the criminal system that's been running our planet for a long time, or they're gonna take us all out. They're gonna round us up into camps. They're gonna kill us with spraying things in the sky or blasting us with militarized radiation from various antennae. There's all these theories as to what they can do, and all of them, or at least I shouldn't say all of them, most of them are backed with pretty serious evidence, and it's not even controversial. There's no doubt about some of this stuff. The implication that could be going on, and there are conspirators putting that forward, is what's in question. No one's going to question the sort of radiation that 5G emits. No one's questioning the limitations on freedom that have been taking place. Everyone knows that's happening, but to say, oh, but that doesn't mean that they're going to do all of those bad things that conspiracy theorists have been saying is going to be done. People are very desperately trying to deny that we live in a world where someone would do that to them. And in spite of the fact that we have evidence from all around the globe that it is being done to other people constantly, to think that it would happen to us is unthinkable. And now we're in the midst of a situation where it is becoming not only thinkable, but we're seeing it live on the internet. If people are paying attention, we're seeing social media activists murdered, assassinated in their homes by the police because of being involved in groups that were actively talking about resisting an armed revolution, basically. Like, the people that are planning that are at great risk right now because many of them have been very vocal about it, and I'm thankful in a way that they've been brave enough to say what they've been saying. But now I fear for my friends who are likely going to be on target lists, and there might be more of these hits where the SWAT team comes in and just zaps you, and they say you were terrorists. We didn't need a trial. We didn't need due process. We just took this guy out like it's a war zone. And so my condolences and sympathies to the family of Duncan Lemp and to the family of all the people that are murdered by this system we live in. It happens all the time. And the deaths from this virus are so low compared to the deaths from our murderous system, be it in Yemen or in Afghanistan or just in the streets here in America, or be it any of the things that have been happening. It's such an overload, and I'm not going to try and let this go too long. I want to make this introduction video short, but I want to let y'all know I'm going to be coming at you with perspective and solutions, and I'm going to be opening up my services for connections and for whatever network I've got. I want to open up to my friends and my people, and even people who don't know me, who really want to do something different and want to make a difference and want to try and help and try and get safe, even like find a spot to go where people are gardening and people are going to be more self-reliant and aren't going to be panicking because they've already prepared. Now, we don't know what we're preparing for. We don't know exactly how this is going to unfold, but we can rest assured that we live in a system, we live in a world where preparations have been made to do us serious harm or to kill us. Like, that is not controversial. There are so many systems in place to herd us into place, and militarized crowd control, and obviously we're all at the mercy of the distribution system. If there's no food in the stores, then people are in pretty deep water with that, and it's not easy to understand how this could happen, because in a real free market system, people are still going to be producing food and distributing it. And there's ways to make sure we all get it. But if there's laws implementing that no one can go outside, well, that's a whole different story. And it's alarming, it's very alarming what's happening. And I have some people that I'm connected with who are just kind of treating like, oh, it's no big deal. Some people are worried about the virus, like, oh, I don't want to get sick, so I'm staying home. And that approach is, I can respect that well enough. I don't think the virus is the issue at all. I think that's just sort of the excuse for what we're seeing. And there's economic factors at play that many of us have been speaking about for a long time. The awareness of the fact that this is unsustainable, this bubble we live in, this constant inflation and just increasing the money supply, and all of our production industry, all of that's been gutted. There's really not a lot left in this country to bring real economic success. We'd have to rebuild that, and we can. It's going to happen eventually. It's just a matter of getting through what we're going through right now, which is a huge overreach on the part of government. Now, I've heard different perspectives. Some people saying, oh, the government's doing the right thing. They're really helping us by making sure people don't go out and get other people sick. Maybe that's what they're doing. But to tell people they're not allowed to gather in groups of more than 10, I'm sorry, that's government overreach. The government does not have the authority to do that. And they can't declare themselves to have it. Like, that's not how it works. That's the same thing as criminals who, because they have a gun, declare themselves in charge and at liberty to take whatever they want. Come shoot me if you think you're tough enough. That's what that is. It's not acceptable, and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be resisted. We cannot let them tell us what to do. We can make a decision whether or not to quarantine ourselves. Anyone who goes out into the world, though, is doing so at their own risk. And so quarantine yourself if you're worried about getting sick. Don't tell other people they have to quarantine themselves. And if you start to do that, you start to introduce military checkpoints or even police checkpoints, and you start to close roads, you start to have curfews and tell people they're not allowed to be outside, you are talking full-on totalitarianism, jackboot fascism, which we've been telling y'all that this is what they're building, and this is what the money that we're giving them is going to. It's going to set up systems that are going to be used against us. And now it should be more obvious than ever, and I hope that people are paying attention and that we can enter into some sort of dialogue as to reasonable steps forward. I'm not advocating some extreme, radical, guns blazing solution. We have to address this intelligently and with a lot of thought, and we need to talk with each other. We need the minds of the world to work together and to be solutions oriented and to limit how much we vent and we talk and process about what's going on. Like, that's something that I find has taken up a lot of my time lately with almost everyone I talk to, and it's healthy, but we've also got to set limits to that and start saying immediately, what do we do? What do we do in response to A, making sure we can feed ourselves locally, which is a very valuable thing to be working on anyway, but B, how do we respond to the government overreach? And I'm real proud of people like Kid Rock, who I never got into the music, but he's got a bar apparently in Tennessee, in a restaurant, and he's refusing to close, and I think that more people ought to do that. The government can't tell you have to close your business. I'm sorry, that's just not what it's designed to do. It's not something that it was created with the purpose of doing. And supposedly our whole system was created so that tyrants may never rule us in that way. And of course, all of those protections have been rolled out, but phased out, I should say. But how much longer are we going to let that happen? And do we really want to imagine where it's going to go if we don't put a stop to it? Think about that, y'all. Where is it going to go? We all know enough history. We know that these things are not unprecedented. And so it's time. We got a little bit of downtime. Everyone's not everyone, but most people are home from work. Let's use that constructively. Let's study. Let's communicate. Let's talk to each other about what can we do. And anyway, we'll see. Maybe this will blow over and it won't be as bad as we're thinking it is. But certainly the things I've been reading are indicating that that's where it's headed. Whether or not this one lightens up and there's a little bit of time for us to go about our lives again, I trust in more after this, because it seems pretty crazy how quickly the government got to this point of doing all these things we were always worried they're going to do over this one thing, which is clearly overblown given the numbers. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap that up for now, and I'm going to be coming back at y'all. I'm looking forward to broadcasting again and hopefully interacting with people. I'm going to try and do this live. That's why I call it Permagora Live, but I'm still getting ready for that and wanting there to be people on there watching and making sure that I've, got relevance here. So, love y'all, all my people out there. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and we got this. Nothing to fear. We can walk into this knowing that this is a great game and a great simulation that we're part of. That we're living in this matrix, and it's all worth something while we're here and now, but it's all just a story that we're in, and nothing to panic about. It's just time to get busy. We got work to do. So, love y'all. Take care.